Hey babies, it's your favorite host, Mr. BMG, back at it again with another episode. Let's get into it. Anyway, babies, I hope you've had an amazing week and have been doing what makes your heart full. This past week, I got to go to Afrobeats to the World, which is basically like a circuit party hosted by DJs who play Afrobeats music, and yeah, people gather of the global African diaspora and just enjoy the beats. So that was pretty cute, pretty nice. It was also again hosted within downtown Atlanta at the Masquerade, but it was still underground. My only issue with like going out to places that are that are in downtown, particularly in that particular area, is everything is underground, and so whenever you request like a ride to come get you, it's never really at the exact location where the place or the bar or the space is. It's always somewhere random, and you have to kind of find the place all the way deep down in the ground, so it's a little tricky to navigate public transportation within the area, which is my biggest frustration of it. But other than that, the actual event was great, and it was great to see the African community and people all over just enjoying, reminiscing on old school R&B. I mean, old school Amapiano, old school, or reminiscing on old school Afrobeats versus the new school, and it was just quite a journey. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes, well done, guys. Shout out to the Afrobeats to the World team. You guys did that, and thanks for the towels. Luckily it wasn't hot. The space was probably ventilated, unlike some other places in the underground. But the towels are a good marketing and memento from the event. So shout out, guys. That was lovely. And sort of while we're still on this Afrobeats to the World and African music tip, I came across this Afronation poster, and they were basically saying they're bringing on Mariah the Scientist as one of the performers, and I kind of went up in arms because I'm just like, what is the concept of this festival? I think it is important for them to hold true to that concept for as long as they can, because the moment they sell out in thinking that maybe it's making the event more, inverted commas, mainstream, I think they're going to lose their core audience. So I don't see how Mariah the Scientist would resonate to the audience that would come to Afronation. And my understanding of that audience is that it is the global African diaspora and the people who support African music, even though they're not necessarily Africans all over the world. So that is the core of it, right? And the core of the entertainment is to showcase African music, from different parts of Africa, and even from people who don't necessarily live in Africa anymore, but still sort of, are connected to their roots and make music that is African. So I just kind of felt like them bringing her was just kind of detaching from that purpose, and it looks like from the comment section I'm not the only one who feels that way. And for me, I don't think there's anything wrong with bringing non-African acts to Afronation, so long as it's not the overwhelming number of acts. So if the amount of acts you're going to bring that are non-African are going to overwhelm the African artists, then I think it's taking away. And also, if you are going to bring non-African acts who have heavily collaborated with African acts, such as your Chris Browns, Drake has collaborated with African acts, Sierra's have collaborated. These people who have big songs with African acts, who have actively been inspired by African music within the heart of their creative process, I think it's acceptable to bring those people. And if there isn't a direct link in that way, I think it's completely pointless, and it's taking away, and it's basically saying that Africans can't lead their own festival, somebody else has to come and save the festival. The messaging is very it becomes that, and it actually kind of becomes triggering. So I think for the sake of their festival and the continuation of their festival, because even Afronation US, I also don't get why Sexy Red is on that poster. I just don't get it. When has she ever collaborated with an African artist? And at the core of it is the music that she makes. Does it resonate with that audience? I don't necessarily think so. So I think, again, it's kind of like, I'm not sure where they're going with it. I don't know what they're trying to make of the festival, but I think people gravitate to authenticity. You have to be who you are, and who you are is, a platform to showcase African music. Came across the story of how Kimmy Cakes, Kimberly Kardashian, was essentially launching this new line of G-strings called the Ultimate Bush, allegedly. Well, it's not alleged, but the pictures are all over the internet. And it looks like some people are just defending her. I saw Law Roach saying that she's with it, and, she's about that. But I also feel like Law Roach is just probably just calculated in that sense. Kim could be a potential client in the future, so I don't think she wants to say anything reckless, given her numbers. So I don't think that was necessarily her honest opinion. It's definitely a plea for attention. It's so off-kilter that it looks like it's a range that was just made to get attention, and obviously given the colder weather, they're obviously playing on the fact that people probably are not as pedantic with trying to shave because they're trying to keep warm. For me personally, I don't necessarily get as many haircuts in the winter because it's colder, right? So you want to keep warm. So they try to play on that whole body hair situation down there. I don't know how it's going to land. I mean, if it's just an attention grab, then I think it serves the purpose. Will it be a commercially successful thing and it's like a staple, and it will not be necessarily a capsule thing at some point? I don't know, because it's also like at best seasonal. It's really more so like fetish gear, and I guess people who are into that would probably buy into it. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about it, but I definitely know that it's an attention grab, and she's just trying to make sure that we keep talking about her brand. So on that part, kudos to you. But on the part of, does it make sense for her brand? Not necessarily. And I feel like Kim's relatability has just been in question recently in many ways. I think she's just kind of showing how out of touch she is lately. She went on this Call Her Daddy podcast and she was like, "Yo, like, I don't know the price of milk, yeah." And I'm just like, well, please. Like, I think being out of touch has never been a flex, or it never reflects well on the people who do it, especially in how everything is so sensitive now. The political climate is extremely sensitive. The cost of living is higher than it's ever been. So for her to flex on the fact that that doesn't affect her, I think isn't necessarily the most advantageous thing for her to do. And so now if she's trying to sell us this little ultimate bush underwear, clearly it's not coming from a place of, I understand what you need, and so I'm going to give it to you. It's a money grab. So I'm going to need her to like step her pussy up, pun intended, and get her brand messaging together. And sticking to the Kardashians doll, so Kylie Jenner is embarking on a music career, and she's like, no, I'm turning 30 soon, so I just have to do everything I've always wanted to do. And for me, she aged herself out of her demographic the moment she had a kid, because not a lot of people in her age bracket at the time were having kids. So I think when she's trying to sort of keep young, I think that ship has sailed. Other than how she looks, I think the moment she became a parent, the audience that she attracts now has completely changed. They've kind of reached an era where they're doing things because they have the platform to do it, not because it makes sense to do it. And I think that's very dangerous to be in, because then you become oversaturated and you become overexposed. And when you become overexposed, people just don't give a shit anymore. You become a fast food brand, and the equity of that brand is not as hot. It's not as where it was, or at least where you wanted it to go. So yeah, her launching the music career, come on, we're not expecting hits, but knowing that mediocrity is celebrated by a certain group of people, it would not surprise me if her music does well, because people are into basic bitches and people like basic bitch content. Onika Tanya Narcissist Maharaj said she is no longer releasing new music on 327, but I think now she's releasing like, the bitch is confused. It's actually very tiring. When I said I'm a barb, I actually cancelled that, scratch that. It's actually embarrassing at this point. Like, I don't condone or support somebody who's that reckless with their brand. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think she's just reached a point where it's tiring now. It's reached a point where she's a toxic bitch and she can't be saved, and she's just a self-sabotaging toxic gutter bitch who rolls in the mud with pigs and acts like she's in the middle seat at basic economy, when she should be treating herself like she's in first class and she has literally 200 and something million followers. Do you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't happen overnight. That's not for no reason. But I think she's acting like she has no credibility to her name in the way that she's moving. And for me, it's disappointing. I don't fucking care if she's not releasing. She can go stick that fucking CD up her ass if she wants to. Because I'm so tired of Nicki Minaj's toxicity all over the toxic freaking timeline. I can't stand it anymore. I really can't. She can go fuck herself, really. Like, I'm just so fucking tired of it. Like, when you feel like you like this person's music, so you defend them up till a certain point. For me, I'm that bitch. Like, I will be loyal in that regard because I like her music, and I've always liked her music. But I'm also a bitch who called out. Like, I will call you out when you've done something wrong, because that's just my nature. And in this regard, she took it too far. Having even talked about children, yes, she apologized, but I don't give a shit about that. That whole conversation went too far. So for me, her image will always be tainted by how she behaved like she's a rat in New York City, who's scavenging and just being reckless in those pissy streets of New York City. It was just distasteful. It was classless. When you are in a position where you know certain truths, that is not the way to go about it. Nobody's going to respect you for trying to portray or trying to essentially bring out the truth in the fashion that she did, because it lacks credibility. It really lacks credibility. You're actually very concerned about her health, and you become very concerned about even the legitimacy of her claims. Whether there's truth or not in everything that she says is besides the point. It's how she's delivering that's really disappointed me, and has just made me distance myself from the bullshit and from anything else she's saying. I don't give a two shit if she's releasing a new body of work on 327, and maybe her karma is she'll sell 2,000 copies of her next project. Like, I just don't fucking care anymore. Like, girl, she needs to stop acting like she's on the come up and act like she's, you know, got something to lose. That she needs to act like she's where she is in her career, as opposed to this sort of gut a bitch mentality. If you are engaging people on Twitter, that just means you want an audience, and it's not necessarily genuine what you're doing. Which makes me go back to the whole narcissist thing, because that's exactly how she moves. She's blaming people, or the internet community, for the reason why she's not releasing her new album, or like random people. It's just never her fault, is what I'm trying to say. And that is one tiring bitch to deal with. A bitch who does not take accountability, a bitch who's always a victim in everything, a bitch who's always crying wolf. That is a tiring bitch to deal with, and I can't stand that. You know, I expected better from her being where she is in her career, but like, to be honest, girl, goodbye. Anyway, on to bitches who have their shit together and who are not up in these streets being reckless. My twin, Summer Walker, is releasing a new album, finally, Over a Child, on 11/24/25, and she's been doing obviously promo with how she showed up to the VMAs with that white man, because she's like, you know what, she's done with the YNs, she is finally over it. She's now saying, fuck my type, I'm going to date in the suburbs of, you know, dating. I'm going to date in the suburbs of relationships, and I'm going to date in the suburbs of men, and date me a white rich sugar daddy who's not going to give me problems, worship the ground that I walk on, and, you know, is not going to stick his shit everywhere, you know, in every Willacoochie. So I love that for her, because I think sometimes when you look at us twins, we actually are in the same era, you know. We are in the era of fuck my type, let me explore, you know, different things and get different results. And you know what, I'm with her with that. Like, we've definitely been on the white boy tip together. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the body of work, because, you know, Over It, Still Over It, those were like really masterful albums. And, you know, Summer Walker really took us on a journey of a lot of the stuff that she's been going through and has gone through. A very talented writer, and I expect nothing less, because bitch, I'm great with a pen too. So, you know, we have to represent in that regard. So she's really been doing so excellent in terms of meaning through medium and taking from her stories and her life and translating that into beautiful music that heals. So I'm really hoping finally Over It is the bitch that she thinks that she is, and is a no skip album, and, you know, really delivers on the message she wants to deliver now that she is finally over it. In other news, Yung Miami and Tyla are at it online. So Yung Miami claims that, or alleges that, Tyla stole her song, because Yung Miami has the song that is called Take Me to Chanel or something, or Put Me in Chanel or something, like just something. But like, essentially she's saying that because Tyla's releasing her new song, Put Her in Chanel or Chanel, and she's releasing that on 10/24. And it's so unnecessary. Like, is it for promo? Did these people go, did they text each other and they're like, hey, let's create some, you know, toxic tension about this new track by me saying that you stole my song, even though they don't remotely sound the same. You know, they may talk about the same brand, but they couldn't be more different. But let's just go with it anyway to get attention. I wonder if this is what these people do, just to essentially get the timeline to be talking and engaged with their content. Because when you think about it, now even the people who are not engaged with the promo are now engaged with the promo, because now there's a little bit of a scandal involved. If I was a PR person, I would encourage the scandal, because there is no such thing as bad publicity. If you think about it, you can always manipulate any type of publicity to your favor in any type of way, if you're smart and if you're strategic. So this could be what this all is, because we then saw allegedly that Tyla followed Yung Miami on Instagram. You know, like, that could be one, her entertaining the beef, if it's actually a real beef, or two, her letting people know that it's not really a real beef if they can follow each other and interact. Because why would you follow somebody who is accusing you of all of this if it's actually true? So sometimes I feel like we should take these beefs with a pinch of salt, because they could just be backhanded marketing. But bitch, Yung Miami, girl, if it's not a dick in it, you don't even know what you're saying, sweetheart, as Kenya said to Warsha. So I'm gonna need you to put a sock in it, because those songs couldn't be more different. Your song definitely sounds like a hood anthem. It definitely sounds like the Chanel that you're speaking about is the Chanel that they sell on the corner of the street. Yeah, sweetie, it's a reach. Yours is definitely, let's just say, not the Chanel that people think. And y'all, we don't just go to Chanel. Don't just take me to Chanel. Put me in Chanel, bitch. Anyway, babies, I thank you so much for supporting me for such a long time. This is now episode 30 and the final one of the season. I am so grateful to every single one of you who have watched in episode to episode and have really just been on this journey with me in developing this content. And I'm so grateful. And obviously in future seasons, we will rebrand and, you know, see different avenues and try and explore and play around with different content and, you know, different things on the big money entertainment platform to obviously grow and to reach different bigger audiences, and yeah, really just make it a success. So thank you so much for supporting this first project with me. It has really been so much fun, and I've really enjoyed making all of this content. I'm so excited to see the growth of the channel and, you know, what content we come up with next. It could be another season of the Messiest Bitch on the Internet. It could be a sort of reimagined, you know, concept of the Messiest Bitch on the Internet. It could be other travel content, it could be so many other things, but definitely keep a lookout because there will definitely be more from where this came from. So as always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram at BigManEntertainment_, and I'll see you again on the next one.